Hello viewers, welcome to today's video. In today's video we are going to be cycling from downtown Dayton, Ohio in Montgomery County to Xenia, Ohio in Greene County. We're going to start off here on the Mad River Trail, and we are going to take the Mad River Trail to the Creekside Trail. The total mileage of this trip is about 20 miles. According to Google Maps, it should take about an hour and 50 minutes, which should be pretty accurate. However, in the past, when I was younger, I could do this ride in about 50 minutes. That wasn't on an actual 10-speed. There's a groundhog there. I haven't done this trip in over a decade. It's been about 12 years since I've done this trip. This right here, what we are on now, this is the Mad River Trail, and to the left of us there, that is the Mad River. We have a southeast wind of about 5 miles per hour. The temperature is about 67 Fahrenheit. I think that's about 20 degrees Celsius. It is a beautiful early afternoon, about 1 p.m. I think here in a couple of weeks I'm going to take my bike to Mike's bike shop and get my gears all lined up correctly. What you see there straight ahead, that is the remnants of a old railroad trestle. So we should reach our destination by 3 p.m. Like I said, it's about 20 miles. Considering it takes me about 2 miles to get to to my start point. That makes it about 20 miles. I think from where I started the video to our destination is 18 miles. However, like I said, I've had to pedal several miles just to get to the start point. So round trip, it's 40 miles. We could go that way, but I like to go this way. This is Finley Street. I think we have about 4 miles on the Mad River Trail before we get to the Creekside Trail. I don't know if you guys can hear that wind, but it sure sounds a little bit stronger than 5 miles an hour. I think AccuWeather lied to me. I don't know if that's my crank making that noise. The chain hitting the front crank derailleur, or if that's my bearings, which I just replaced the bearings. You can still see the tornado damage from 2019. If you're a subscriber of the channel, you've probably seen this stretch of trail before. That right there, straight ahead, is the Montgomery County Fire practice facility. And once again, that's the Mad River. See, that's the firefighters practice facility. And here we are at Eastwood Metro Park. If you're interested in seeing more of this park, you can find my video titled Eastwood Metro Park. But we're not stopping here today. Now once we cross this street here, we'll be on the Creekside trail. It runs along Shawnee Creek. I do believe that's my chain having a slight rub on the derailleur. If you're familiar with my channel and you've watched my videos, you probably know that I don't tend to I don't change gears a lot. I usually toggle between a couple of gears. I like a nice neutral gear that's kind of like about the resistance of, say, a 20-inch bike. And this is a Smithville Street. And this is the Creekside Trail, as I stated, although we cannot see the creek at this point. As we get further ahead, we will be alongside the creek. It's been a long time since I've rode the trail to Xenia, but if I remember, there's about a 4-mile stretch that's like a slight incline, maybe 3 miles. It's not like a super, it's not a steep incline, but an incline nonetheless. Today is a perfect day for a nice long bike ride. Today is Earth Day. So we're going to be out here amongst the Mother Nature. We're going to hear the birds, probably see a few birds. We already saw a groundhog. So we are going to be amongst Earth today for the duration of this video. All that wood smells so good. Front row. Good. I don't think the trail is closed. I see no signs.
Goddamn right. That's why I'm not at work. That's why you ain't in.
Burnt out RV still here. That was somebody's really, really nice RV at one point. We're not going to hang out here because I don't want to stop too much. I want to try to get this trip in before my camera battery dies, but I can't not stop here for a moment. As you see, we have a bike park. It's not an official bike park. It wasn't put together by the city here, but I do believe this was put together by the residents of the area. And this is they call it the Overlook Mutual Trails. It doesn't go too far back in there. It's just a bunch of jumps. And there will be people, probably lots of teenagers, later today. Out here enjoying this little bike park. According to the specs of my camera, the battery should last about 2 hours. I guess that kind of depends probably too on what settings you use. I set my camera up to where it has a screensaver, so after a minute the screen will go blank. Of course it continues to record, but since I don't need to use the viewfinder at the moment, you know, with the camera on my ball cap and such, you know, I can dim that, and that should give me the maximum battery duration. I brought my extra. You don't see that too often, shoes on a power line. But anyway, this camera, it comes with 2 batteries. I brought both batteries, and I brought a can't talk today. I brought my battery bank. Coming up behind you.
Sorry.
You're good. I know I've mentioned before that I am a 2-pack a day chain smoker, but I probably haven't mentioned the fact I have hemolytic autoimmune. I have a autoimmune disorder. My white blood cells like to attack my red blood cells. And that can cause a lot of fatigue. Autoimmune hemolytic anemia. It is pretty rare. But like I said, basically what that means is my white blood cells like to attack my red blood cells. And one of the side effects of that is fatigue, joint pain. This right here is a Kroger. It used to be Kmart. As you know, all the Kmarts in the country have closed. They used to be where I'd get all my G.I. Joes. So with autoimmune hemolytic anemia, it makes it harder for your body to fight off infections and such, which I still do a pretty good job at doing. I still have a fairly normal immune system in that regard. But like I said, it causes a lot of joint pain and fatigue, which are common symptoms with getting sick. And I mean, I feel that way more often than not. So yeah, joint pain and fatigue is just kind of the normal. This right here is the Shawnee Creek. Yeah, they actually don't even know a whole lot about autoimmune hemolytic anemia. They don't know if it's something you're born with, if it's something that happens later in life. I'm supposed to be taking some immune medication, but I'm a natural fighter. Okay, so we've done a video straight ahead before, another couple of miles, but we have not ventured this way. And this is that uphill I was mentioning. See, it's not a steep uphill, but it's uphill. That's Interstate 35 to the right of us. least I think on the way home, the wind should be at my back, which I'd rather have the wind at my back on my way home than on my way to the destination. So you can't really tell, but we are still on a slight incline. So on the way back with the wind at my back and coming down this incline, should be a breeze. You can tell we're still in city limits. There's graffiti there. So on a normal day, I have to eat about 3,500 calories a day, and that's just to maintain my weight. So if I want to do a trip like this without losing a couple pounds, today I'll have to eat about 6,000 calories. I've already put down about 2,500 before I left. I have about 1,000 calories here on me, and when I get home before I go to bed tonight, I'll eat another 2,000 or 3,000 calories. If I eat like a normal person, say 2,000 calories a day, and I do that for a week, I'll lose like 5 pounds. No joke. On your left. We are still in Montgomery County. I think we've got 2 or 3 miles, I think, before we hit Greene County. That I do believe is Woodman Drive. I could be wrong. Yeah, my natural adult body weight is 125 pounds. I weigh 160 now. I did at one point go up to 185. I'm comfortable at 160 because even 160 is a far stretch from 125. So in from 2013 throughout the year of 2013, I went from 125 to 187. And I did that by eating between 5 and 8,000 calories a day and lifting weights and working out at least 4 times a week. In a year's time, I gained nearly 70 pounds. And what's so funny is, of course, I could step on a scale and yeah, you know, the scale tells me I've gained weight, but when I looked in the mirror, it's like, where the heck did it all go? And people I hadn't seen in years, would be like, oh, you're still skinny. It's like, yeah, I am, I guess, but I've gained 70 pounds. So here we are. We're still in Montgomery County. Now we're not. So now we are officially in Greene County. Unlike all the rest of the counties in Ohio, red and blue, well, this one is green. But yeah, so I got my weight all the way up to 187. And then I had a bad infection in my gums that really made me very ill. And because I didn't have insurance, I wasn't able to get the medical help I needed. So my weight went from 187 all the way back down to about 130. And of course, as you get older, it's harder to trail closed. What? Oh no. As you get older, it's harder to put weight on. So it was quite the work just to get my weight back up to 160. Is it really closed up there?
What they've done is they've taken a as you can probably see it from here.
Can I get through there?
Yeah, because what it is, they got sections where they cut it out and re-blacktopped it.
Oh, okay. So I just need to move over here, there.
Well, you just get over in the grass and you'll bypass, but you can drive over.
Oh, okay.
It's not that bad.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Be careful out here.
Yes, sir. What's funny is I was saying to myself when I left, I was like, watch part of the trail be closed or something. So seeing that sign really isn't anything unexpected. Cemetery here. We are in the town of Beaver Creek. If you guys are cycling enthusiasts, go check out a YouTube channel by the name of Sarah Bridgewater. She cycles, she makes what I'm doing like nothing. She does trips like this on a daily, and she likes to cycle across the entire countries. I see some work trucks ahead. Can you get through here? Find out. I lied to him. I tell him I drove all the way here from Florida to ride this bike trail from Dayton to Xenia. Hey guys, is there any way I can get through? Is there any way I can get through?
We got all kinds of stuff on this. It's supposed to be
get
closed.
down there and you can get in the grass, that's fine. Just not on the bike path. Hey,
Alright, so I could just duck off like I am now.
down there if you can.
Alright. Yeah, just don't go over any of that stuff. Gotcha. Thank you guys. Right then. Oh, I don't know what he said. I thought he was talking to me for a second. We got to be careful because they got those spots dug out there. I don't want to dive into one of those. Yeah, my last cycling video, according to YouTube, from Hope Bridge to downtown Dayton should have took me like an hour and 26 minutes. It took me like 50 minutes. I don't know if I'll upload this video like in its entirety, raw and uncut, or I might condense some parts out. Like this, it's, you know, it's Earth Day. We don't want to see asphalt trucks. We want to see the trail and nature. So I might cut this stuff out just to make the video a little shorter. Any way I can get through? Pardon me?
Stay on that side.
Alright.
Just because skid steer moving out.
Is he going to go on that side?
What?
Is he going to go on that side?
No,
probably not.
Go around on that side.
All right.
So stay on the left side of that.
Thank you. They got this whole section like that. That highway there next to us is I-35. I'm not sure what that place is, Bayless Arena. That's a big bump. Just look at all the tree damage here. See, I haven't been through here, so I don't know if this was from, because we did have a windstorm a few weeks ago. And in 2019, we had a tornado outbreak in Beaver Creek. Was impacted by one of those tornadoes. So I don't know when that damage occurred. Currently 1:54, so we've been, when I started the video it was about 5 after 1, so we've been at it about 50 minutes. I think we are probably roughly halfway through. and that's also that's part of Shawnee Creek. On your left. We're in between you guys. Excuse me.
Sorry.
You're all right. Yeah, like I said, I used to do this trip in about 50 minutes. I think my best time was 47 minutes. Of course, that was on a more 10-speed style bike made for this. The bike I'm on right now, this is actually a mountain bike. Daytona Mills Incorporated. Not Dayton, Daytona. Interesting. Hello. So yeah, like I said, this is a mountain bike, but I replaced the knobby tires with a road tire. But still, the bulkiness of the frame of a mountain bike, it's a lot of, it's more work when you're out on the trail like this, because there's so much more wind resistance. As opposed to a 10-speed style bike with a slender frame. Plus, I've got this bag here on the front of my bike with some snacks and stuff in it, and that surface, that flat surface at the front of it, is actually going to create some wind resistance. Well, at least I think we're done with the construction area. Hello. dude. Made a lot of sense. You ever notice people do that? Say you'll be walking on the right side of the sidewalk and you'll maintain that direction on that side, and as people approach you, they'll literally step into your lane or your path, as opposed to just maintaining the path they already had. And then next thing you know, everybody's moving left to right. Which way do you go? Which way do we go? Watch this, I'm gonna give this guy a 5. I've been doing that lately for whatever reason, just randomly giving people high fives or mid fives. Looks like some dirt bike trails through there. I guess when there's a tornado and it knocks off the tops of the trees, and you know, you get fallen trees and such, I mean, it's a bad thing because, you know, it destroys the homes of a lot of animals. Some animals may perish, but with all those downed trees, I guess that gives more places for ground creatures to live in the future. I've got some tiger lilies in my yard, and I'm thinking about setting up one of my cameras facing those tiger lilies to see if I can't catch a glimpse of a hummingbird. They usually come visit every year. There's a little league ball field over there. Ball fields, I should say. Look, that guy, he's over there playing shadow baseball. We're 2 for 2. When I was a kid, if I needed a baseball to use to play with my friends, when I was growing up, my friends rarely ever supplied any of the sports equipment. They might have had their own baseball mitt, but as far as bats, the balls, most of the time I supplied. And back then, you could go get a Rawlings Little League baseball for like $2.99. But even if I didn't have the money to buy one, I'd go to a Howell Field and just search around Howell Field and find 2 or 3 used baseballs. So we've been going now for about an hour. So if I'm on time with Google Maps, we should be at our destination in about 30 minutes. As you notice, I haven't really stopped, so I'm not wheezing out of breath. For a guy that smokes 2 packs a day, almost 50 years old, my lungs are still pretty healthy. an interesting building there. Anybody know what that kind of building would have been used for? It's not a silo. A silo wouldn't have windows.
Yeah.
It's a really cool old building there. We'll check that out. That there's a really, really old house there. Maybe when I'm editing the video, I'll look up and see what year that place was built. Doesn't really say what street this is. But I'd say that place was probably built 1860s, 1870s. On your left. I'd say we've probably got about a handful of miles. For the most part, when I do these long bike rides, I really don't drink much water while out on the ride itself, because, you know, as you see, there's not, well, I mean, technically there's a tree there that's, I guess, could be used as a bathroom, but there are no real bathrooms along the trail. So I just drink enough water to stay enough hydrated without having to go tinkle. Can't really tell, but this is a slight incline. Looks like a horse ranch over there. Yeah, the longest bike ride I've ever taken was a 7-day excursion across the state of Nebraska. At the time I lived in Idaho. Excuse me. At the time me and my ex-wife lived in Idaho, and I ran across a brochure mentioning cycling across Nebraska. Both me and the ex-wife, we used to love to ride our bikes, so we signed up. I think we were cycling 65 to 80 miles a day, something along those lines, maybe closer to 100. We were putting in the miles. Check that out. I'll have to zoom in on it. Old car there. Just part of Mother Nature now. But yeah, it was we had to pay, I think, $200 a person, and they had camps set up along the way. They provided food, water. They even provided spare inner tubes and tires, and they had mechanics handy. It was an 18 and up adults only trip, but there were quite a few young folks. Me and the ex-wife's age at the time, we were like 20, 21. And there were a lot of older individuals. But these older individuals, they've been riding bikes their whole lives. They would usually be out ahead of us. Then at the end, we all loaded our bikes up in an 18-wheeler, a couple of 18-wheeler trailers, and we took vans back home. If we keep going in this direction about another 15 miles, we'll end up in Yellow Springs, That is where comedian Dave Chappelle lives. Airplane there. We might get a glimpse of it here in a second. To the left here is Killcare Motor Speedway. And this is a pretty cool place to visit.
How's it going?
Hello. Yeah, they have a circle track for stock car racing, and they have a drag strip. When we were kids and teenagers, we would pedal out here just to sit here along the bike trail and listen to the cars and see the dragsters and all that stuff. Now, if you're curious, you could probably find some content on YouTube regarding Killcare Motor Speedway. As you see right here, they also do like figure 8 racing. This section here is where the drag strip is. see, we are still along the Shawnee Creek. All right, it's 2:23. So we've been at it for about an hour and 20 minutes. I don't know why that guy's hanging out there on the fence. Or is it dead? Huh. Did that snake literally snake itself through the fence in a way that it killed itself? Or what? Definitely dead, I guess.
Nice.
I don't think it's alive though. Well, that was interesting. It's weird that it would snake its way through the fence the way it did. It must have got stuck or something, where the fence cut it up. And like, if it wanted to get on the other side of the fence, why didn't he just slither through one of the openings? On your left. Once again, I don't think you can tell, but we are on a slight incline. at least on the way home, I'll have the wind at my back and I'll be going slightly downhill. It's kind of interesting. You can actually see, I don't know if you guys can see on the camera, but you can see the water actually flowing down off that hillside. Not like a big constant stream, but you can see it though, nonetheless. Bit of a trail there. Cool. It's like a hiking trail. Eventually I'll do a video to and from Miamisburg. See, I think we've got maybe a mile to Xenia Station. This is Xenia, Ohio. It would be nice if there were a street sign to let us know what street this is. You know what street this is?
Huh?
You know what street this is?
Main Street.
That's what I figured. It'd be nice if they had a sign here though that said that.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is Main Street in Xenia. Hopefully the battery on my camera hasn't died. Alright guys, we are at Xenia Station. Now if we continue that way, it would take us to Yellow Springs. Alright guys, so that's Xenia Station. I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you want to know what's inside of that structure there, and you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Tap the notification bell so you can stay informed of future uploads. We're not going to do what's inside of there in this video, so like I said, if you want to see what's inside of there, you'll subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I hope you guys enjoyed the video as always. Until next time.